DJI has given Sony camera owners a gift. Well, a gift that costs $35 and you have to buy yourself, but a gift nonetheless. This video is not sponsored and DJI did not send me the product I'm talking about. I bought it myself. Now, the DJI Mic 2 isn't even my favorite wireless mic system, but this new accessory is pretty darn cool, and I wish more manufacturers did this. If you're curious why the Mic 2 isn't my favorite wireless mic, check out my full review. I'll link to it in the description and at the end of this video. But let's talk about this very cool adapter that DJI released for Sony cameras, the multi-interface shoe adapter. This adapter lets you connect your DJI Mic 2 receiver directly to your Sony camera's multi-interface shoe, so you don't have to use a 3.5mm cable. You simply remove the cover, the plastic cover from the back of the receiver, and then on your adapter, you flip up this little part, and then you slide the receiver right down onto it, and you're good to go. Now you can connect the adapter right to the multi-interface shoe on your Sony camera. There is a list of compatible Sony cameras on DJI's site that I will link to in the description. There's also a firmware update available for both the receiver and the transmitter that goes along with this new functionality for the adapter. All you have to do is download the bin file for both the receiver and transmitter, and then plug each of those devices into your computer with a USB-C cable one at a time. For the receiver, it is important that it be powered off when you connect it to your computer, otherwise the drive won't show up on your desktop. Once that does show up, just open up the no-name folder that appears. All you have to do is locate the correct bin file, make sure you got the one for the receiver or the transmitter, whichever one you have connected, then simply drag and drop the bin file over into the root folder. Once you've done that, all you have to do is eject the drive and disconnect it from your computer. Once you disconnect it, the receiver will start doing its update automatically. The transmitter needs to be powered on in order to start updating automatically, so if the transmitter is powered off while it's connected, disconnect it from your computer, power it on, and it will start updating automatically. On the receiver, you can see on the screen that it is performing its firmware update. On the transmitters, you will see alternating green and red lights until it is completed. Using it really is that simple, but there are a couple other small things to be aware of. First, when you're using the adapter, the receiver will be drawing power from your camera through the multi-interface shoe. So if you are using this handheld with the regular battery and not powering it some other way, just keep an eye on your battery level because it might draw down just a little bit quicker since it's powering the receiver now. You don't have to go in and really change anything in your camera settings, but there is one thing to be aware of, and that is the setting that is enabled when you have an audio device connected to the multi-interface shoe. In your menu under the video settings, the option in the menu for MI Shoe audio settings will be enabled when the receiver is powered on, and there you can select whether you want to do 16-bit 48 kilohertz audio or 24-bit 48 kilohertz audio. That is one of the benefits we're going to talk about in just a second. So the bottom line for this is that in addition to eliminating the need for a cable, it gives you two big benefits plus one sort of additional sub benefit, all at the cost of what I think is just one minor annoyance. So let's talk about the benefits first. The first benefit is that you're getting improved audio quality in two different ways. First of all, you're getting 24-bit audio recorded into your camera in the video file when you use the multi-interface shoe versus recording using the 3.5mm input, which on all consumer level and prosumer level Sony cameras limits you to 16-bit audio. Now, besides that greater bit depth to your audio, you're also just going to get slightly better audio quality in general, and that's because you are bypassing the camera's internal audio hardware. And cameras like this aren't exactly known for the quality of their audio hardware, and that's because pretty much all of the budget from the manufacturer goes into the video features and hardware, not the audio hardware. But when we use the multi-interface shoe on Sony cameras to get our audio into the video, we're actually sending digital information into the camera and bypassing that preamp and analog to digital converter. So we're avoiding converting our audio an extra time and using that lower quality hardware that's in the camera. Just as an example, have a listen to the A7 IV with and without the adapter. This is the sound of the DJI Mic 2 built-in microphone transmitter running into the Sony A7 IV using the 3.5mm output running directly into the camera, recording in 16-bit 48 kilohertz. This is the sound of the DJI Mic 2 built-in microphone transmitter running into the Sony A7 IV using the DJI multi-interface shoe adapter. Now, the second benefit that you're going to get is better consistency between different Sony cameras. And if you've ever used different Sony cameras on the same project and used the 3.5mm input, it is something you may have noticed. This is the sound of the DJI Mic 2 built-in microphone transmitter running into the Sony a7 IV using the 3.5mm output running directly into the camera, recording in 16-bit 48 kilohertz. This is the sound of the DJI Mic 2 built-in microphone in the transmitter running directly into the Sony ZV-E1 using the 3.5mm output, recording in 16-bit 48 kilohertz. This is a sample of the DJI Mic 2 built-in microphone in the transmitter running directly into the Sony FX30 using the 3.5mm output, recording in 16-bit 48 kilohertz. Now, I'm not sure why this is the case, but I have to assume there must be some minor differences between the models in either the actual hardware that's in them, like a different preamp, or possibly different impedance on the input or something like that. I'm not sure, but what I do know is that I've consistently experienced this inconsistency between my different Sony cameras. But here is where the DJI adapter can help. This is the sound of the DJI Mic 2 built-in microphone transmitter running into the Sony a7 IV using the DJI multi-interface shoe adapter and recording in 24-bit 48 kilohertz. This is the sound of the DJI Mic 2 built-in microphone on the transmitter running into the Sony ZV-E1 using the DJI multi-interface shoe adapter, recording in 24-bit 48 kilohertz. This is the sound of the DJI Mic 2 built-in microphone in the transmitter running directly into the Sony FX30 using the DJI multi-interface shoe adapter, recording in 24-bit 48 kilohertz. Since we're bypassing the audio hardware in the cameras, now we're getting a nice consistent sound throughout. So that is a nice benefit if you do have different Sony cameras and you use them all on the same project with that 3.5mm input. And now the last sort of sub-benefit that this adapter gives you, even if you don't use the DJI Mic 2 as an on-camera microphone, you can actually still upgrade your audio setup using a video mic that has a 3.5mm output. The ZV-E1 here has the multi-interface shoe adapter connected, and I also have the Rode Video Mic Go 2 attached to another shoe on the cage that I have, and I have that plugged into the transmitter of the DJI Mic 2, the 3.5mm input here. So this is enabling me to record the audio from the Video Mic Go 2 internally in the transmitter in 32-bit float, while at the same time getting 24-bit audio directly into my video through the wireless connection. And it's still better than just plugging this directly into the camera, because not only do you get 24-bit audio in the camera, but you have your backup 32-bit float audio as well. Pretty cool. The great benefits of this adapter come at the cost, in my opinion anyway, of one minor annoyance, and it really only applies to solo content creators. If you regularly record by yourself, then you know how helpful it is to have your camera's screen or an external monitor facing you while you're recording so you can see yourself and make sure that you're getting the shot that you want. Now, if I'm using a wireless mic system, I also normally like to have the receiver in a shoe mount that is actually facing the front of the camera like this, because this means in addition to seeing the audio levels on the camera, I can see the audio levels and the controls that show up on the receiver. But once you use the new adapter here, you unfortunately only have one choice when it comes to plugging this into the multi-interface shoe, because the orientation of the plug here on the adapter can only go in one direction, and that is going to mean that your receiver is facing the back of the camera. You do not have an option to flip it around to face the front of the camera. It's nice to be able to glance at the receiver and verify those things periodically, but you know, I think the benefits outweigh that little annoyance. Well, that's pretty much it. I love that DJI did this, and I love that they didn't give it a ridiculous price. I wish more of the wireless mic manufacturers would make an accessory like this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you picked this accessory up for yourself, and let me know if you like it as much as I do. Also, check out my full review of the DJI Mic 2 if you haven't, and don't forget to subscribe so you can check out my future videos. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.